Broadcast or something. I didn't know. I didn't know what there was. Court does call the case. People versus Javon Webster.
Andrew Childers appearing on behalf of people.
Assistant Public Defender Hannah Apple appearing on behalf of Mr. Webster. Mr. Webster, will you please state your name for the record? Your Honor, we are asking that this matter be set for a preliminary.
Discovery complete.
Yes, Your Honor.
People have their witnesses available tonight.
I would expect so, yes.
Preliminary examination in person, April 9th, 2024, 9 a.m. That is before Judge Burke.
Your Honor, may I address one?
You may.
Two things. One is the court in where
I am.
just bringing, that's not my main point, although I do see that there's some positive THC tests. My concern is I've been informed by my victim advocates, the defendant's mother is the victim in the case, and she has been receiving ongoing harassing contact from the defendant on the phone, including telling her to F off, but not F, the actual word. My understanding is he's currently staying with his grandmother, who has expressed her own concern to his mother that they can't control him. And there's concerns over their safety, and the mom is expressing concerns over her own safety. And again, obviously, there's this violation of contact.
Your Honor, this is the first that I'm hearing of any of these allegations of contact. I would just advise my client again to not, he's denying contacting his mom in any way. But that's as far as I can speak.
Were these communications written, or, I mean, were they text messages or calls?
A verbal phone call, and for what it's worth, Your Honor, our victim advocate did tell the victim, obviously, to contact the police with this information. According to her, she's left a message from who I believe is the officer in charge, but there is not a report. I don't have a report to provide to the court or Miss Apple. That's just the information I'm going off of. These have been phone calls.
So who is he residing with?
His grandmother.
And my understanding is there are some concerns there also?
His grandmother has expressed concern to her daughter, who's the victim and the defendant's mother, over her ability to control the defendant and her concerns over her own safety. I believe, as it was described, everyone is kind of walking on eggshells around them because they all have concerns for their safety, but there are issues with his behavior and his harassing conduct.
Your Honor,
This is not good.
I understand the court's concern and the prosecution's position at this time, but it sounds as though this is an ongoing investigation. I mean, I would ask that he be able to continue out on bond. He's here today. He's been in contact with his attorneys.
No, I understand that. I get all of that, and I realize it may be a bit of a shock to you, but
it's my understanding the plan was for the defendant to reside with his dad in Jackson County, but and this is coming through phone conversations, the defendant and his father get into some sort of argument. Father takes the defendant and drops him off with his grandmother because he doesn't want him to stay there, and the grandmother is having similar issues, but there's no place for the defendant to go with that.
Okay, so here's part of my problem. Hold on a second. Who is Destiny Webster?
Is that your sister?
That's
That's a sister.
Got it.
And Your Honor, my client's informing me that his grandmother wishes him to stay with him. I had no reason to contact her to confirm that. If the court wants to pass the matter,
Well, okay, so here's part of the problem. And I would pass the matter and let you do what you need to do, but part of my problem is if indeed what is being indicated to the prosecutor's office is true, and now it's been said, and that first of all, he wasn't supposed to be residing there, but was supposed to be someplace else, but can't be that other place because of whatever, for whatever the reason is. And then is at grandma's house, but grandma expresses some concern, then we've got a problem.
hold on. I would agree with that. My only, of course, I haven't had communications of any of these parties. I know the prosecutor's office and the victim advocate have. My concern is that this is coming through the complaining witness in this case is mom, like, it just seems like this is a lot of third party contact. I mean, if the.
Well, we can make it all first party. Mr. Allen, take him, put him in the jury box all the way to the very back, that or someplace safe in the jury box. You have phone numbers and other things or no?
I do not, but I will, at least
That's
grandma, I will try to get
That's
hold of grandma.
endeavor to try to get to them. If there can be a call, I want to know what's exactly going on, because if I'm not, and I'll just be blunt, I'm not sending him someplace where there's going to be problems.
Understood.
And now that this has been said, I don't want any retribution for something being said, which is now our other problem.
Understood.
Understood?
I will try to get
Okay.
in contact with her. Thank you.
So I'll pass that. They get all of your information. Court calls the case of People versus Webster.
Andrew Childers appearing on behalf of the people.
Assistant Public Defender Hannah Apple appearing on behalf of Mr. Webster. Approaching now. Mr. Webster, will you state your name for the record?
All right. Okay, where are we?
Your Honor, I did have a chance to call my client's grandmother, Antoinette Webster. She did confirm that my client can reside with him or with her, and that she has no issue. When I informed her what was being discussed here, she said that's not true. He has not been any problem. He's been, as far as she knew, she said, I think he's been testing, doing what he's supposed to do. If anything changes, he can't stay with me. But as of right now, he is more than welcome at my house. And so that's the information I have to provide to the court.
Judge, we spoke, I have no reason to disbelieve the comments made by Ms. Apple right now. The information I got, I wouldn't call it contrary to that. We spoke with the victim, in this case, the defendant's mother again, explained what we had been discussing and what was going on. She, in so many words, says, I understand that. And I don't know if I call it a misspeak or just mischaracterized. So it's actually the victim in this case is the defendant's mother. And my understanding is the defendant is residing with his grandmother and his great-grandmother. So it was actually the victim's grandmother who had called her to express concern over Mr. Webster. So I missed a grandmother in there, or a grand.
So the information that you provided about the grandmother was actually the great-grandmother's
Who
expression.
lives with the grandmother, is my understanding. Generations.
Got it.
And a very quick version of that from mom victim is, my grandmother has been complaining and has concerns, feels like she can't control him. All of that said, she understands the position the court's in. We're dealing with limited, I don't have records, we don't have police contacts, we don't have police reports. It is what it is. So I've expressed my concern. How we basically left it with mom was that, as I would expect the court to do, make sure Mr. Webster knows that whatever grandmother, mom, great grandmother he's staying with, he follows the rules of that house. This Webster is a young man who has some juvenile history. I don't want things to get out of control with him. I don't want him to do things that compromise his freedom or his safety or endanger other people. And I'll just leave it at that. And we have an exam date, which we've made the victim aware of, and she'll be here for that.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Young man, I'm just gonna tell you this. That is, you live with is your grandmother, your great grandmother, right?
My grandmother, yes.
Okay, and your great grandmother's there too? All right. I'm gonna let you know what my expectation of you is regarding them. Okay? And I will find a way to get this through to Judge Burke, who will next see you. I don't expect them to complain about anything you do. That means you have to do everything that is right by them. You understand me? If they tell you to jump, your only question is how high. If they want you to do something, you just do it. You understand me? What do you think if I hear that somehow you disrespected your grandmother or your great grandmother? What do you think I will do?
Charge me.
I will give you a place to stay. And I don't think you want me to do that. You've got issues right now with your mom. There's another issue. I don't know what it is with your dad. You don't have a place to go. And so if you mess this up, where are you going to go? Yep, that's exactly it. So it's up to you. Prosecutor's office or through your counsel tells the court that there's some problem. If I get a report of any problem, I will make sure that's where you stay. We clear? And don't be contacting the victim, your mother, or your sister, because you can't. You hear me? This point is bond will continue.
Thank you.